Good morning, everybody. It is June 20th. Call our meeting to order and ask our auditor to give us, or lead us in the pledge.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Moving on to item number 3, roll call.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here. Move on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence to report?
Mason County Advisory Board applications were received from the following: Terry Arcieri for the Board of Equalization, and from Susan Rachel Hansen and Karen Leaf for the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. Miss Robert Stevens and family sent in comments regarding Oakland Bay. The Office of Financial Management sent in a letter regarding an estimate request for population changes from years 2020 to 2023. And Hillary Franz, Commissioner of Public Lands, sent in a letter regarding the Department of Natural Resources.
Great, thank you. Move on to item 4.2, a news release, and ask Melissa to come forward and read that, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board position opening. The Board of County Commissioners are accepting applications to fill one community position for the Mason County Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board, representing Commissioner District 3. The applicant must not have direct affiliations with agencies that receive funding. The boards are looking for community members with an interest in public health, mental health, substance use disorder, homelessness, and/or affordable housing. The Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board is a 7-member board appointed to advise the Board of County Commissioners on the use of state and local funds to address affordable housing, homelessness, and behavioral health treatment in Mason County. The advisory board typically meets at least once per month on the 4th Wednesday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. with special meetings scheduled as necessary. Appointed board members serve a 4-year term. How to apply? Application forms may be obtained from the Commissioner's Office, 360-427-9670, extension 419, or on the website at www.masoncountywa.gov. To find an application on the website, go to the menu Advisory Boards, select Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board, and click on the link Advisory Board Application. Applications to serve on the board are being accepted until the position is filled and should be submitted to the Mason County Commissioners, 411 North 5th Street, Shelton, Washington, 98584.
Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to item 4.3, recognition of Marcy Harris, retiring after 30-plus years of service. I know I see Patty on there, but I think she's not feeling 110%. She's only at 95%. But
I'll speak a little bit. I just threw a bunch of cough drops in. You can hear me?
Good morning. Yes.
So I'm home with the first time ever having COVID. So yeah, I sent out an invitation for everybody to honor Marcy Harris as her 30-plus years of service with Mason County. She did start out in the treasurer's office in 1991, and then I think she came over to our office in 98 or 99. So if everybody would like to join us for the retirement down in the Commissioner's Chamber on June 30th to say goodbye to her from 2:30 to 4:30, I'm sure she'd be happy to see everybody. It's been, she's very happy to be retiring, and we're going to miss her with our wealth of knowledge. But I know her number, so we'll be calling her if we need help. So with that, I'm going to sign off before I start coughing. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, she's going to be missed. All right. And I encourage everyone to come down on the 30th for 30-plus years at 2:30.
It's impressive.
All right. Let's move on to item number 5. This is the time we set aside for citizen input. 15 minutes, 3 minutes each. Do we have anyone in the commission chambers that would like to address the commission? All right.
This is Bailey Puentes. I'm with the Eastside Artist Roster. If you give me a little bit of time.
Hi, Bailey. Go for
Yeah,
it.
good morning. I'm just following up about the request for proposal that was in May. It's about tourism services in Mason County. And I have a proposal that I'll be sending to you just within the next few days. That's pretty much tells you what I'm proposing. And I'm just here to sell you on it very quickly. What I propose is that you renovate, or Mason County uses the budget in the proposal to build a new architectural significant building in Hoodsport, Washington. Right now, there's a Hood Canal Visitor Center that they use to support tourism, and I think the building right now is great. But if you were to add a building that was architecturally profound, it would really draw in people, and I think it would really stir up a lot of tourism. And I think that's really what I'm asking for. So in the proposal, it pretty thoroughly says that you're looking for a service, but I propose alternatively that you renovate the building using this design that I have in the proposal, and just use the budget for that. And I just think that if you have a building that's architecturally significant, people will naturally want to go check it out. And I think that's why I really want to be here today, just to tell you why it's important. You know, a great example would be that Seattle Center. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the Space Needle, or you've seen the EMP, the Mopop Museum, built by Frank Gehry. He designed that building so different, and I think just buildings like that kind of inspire other people to go see it. And I think if you added a building that was really in the modern age in a town where it doesn't have kind of those same kind of buildings, a building that stands out, I think that'd be a great way to bring in tourism for people. So that's really just what I wanted to tell you, and kind of why I'm suggesting this is that I'm already working with architects and other people in the industry. So I have a lot of knowledge and background on what I'm talking about, and I definitely think I'd be able to add something significant for sure.
All right, thank you, Bailey. Yeah, look forward to your proposal.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anyone else that would like to address the commission? All right, seeing none, let's move on to item number 6.
Madam Chair, I move adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to item number 7.
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the June 5th, 2023 briefing minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the June 5th, 2023 briefing minutes as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And we're cruising. Move on to item number 8. Approval of the action agenda. Commissioners will read through the action agenda. Items can be removed for a separate discussion or vote. Ask Commissioner Schutte to read items 8.1 through 8.3. Commissioner Netherland, if you could take 8.4 through 8.8, and I'll take 8.9 and 10.
Madam Chair, item 8.1, approval of warrants and treasurer electronic remittances, claims clearing fund warrant numbers 8096675 through 8097046 in the amount of $841,311.94. Direct deposit fund warrant numbers 97207 through 97604 in the amount of $828,614.80. Salary clearing fund warrant numbers 7007407 through 7007444 in the amount of $1,129,670.96. And treasurer electronic remittance in the amount of $2,830,125.98. Item 8.2, approval to set a public hearing on Tuesday, July 18th, 2023 at 9:15 a.m. to consider approval of the 24 open space applications as recommended by the county assessor. And item 8.3, approval of the 2024 budget rates for internal cost allocation, information technology, state auditor's office charges, unemployment, and motor pool.
Madam Chair, item number 8.4 reads approval of the Mason County Commission 2024 and 2025 preliminary budget preparation guidelines. Item number 8.5, approval to authorize the Deputy Director of Public Works, Utilities, and Waste Management to advertise a request for quotes, RFQ, for the hauling of biosolids and to execute a 2-year agreement with a renewal option. Item number 8.6, approval for the Department of Corrections DOC contract renewal to extend the term from June 30th, 2023 to June 30th, 2025 and increase the per diem rate from 93.71 to 98.39 from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 and to $103.31 from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Item number 8.7, approval for the Parks and Trails Department to plant a memorial tree in memory of Richard Falk at the Sand Hill Park. Item number 8.8, approval to send award letters regarding homeless response grant programs to the following. Youth Connection for a total of $209,144. Turning Point Survivor Advocacy Emergency Shelter, $74,182. Community Lifeline Emergency Shelter, $125,000. Community Action Council for a total of $1,324,318. Crossroads Housing for a total of $838,000. And Coyote Communities Permanent Housing for $83,490.
Item 8.9, approval to appoint Andrea Exo to the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission for a term expiring June 20th, 2026. Item 8.10, approval of the 2 vehicle replacement order requests from Enterprise and permission for the chair to sign the vehicle order request as presented. All right, having read through today's agenda or action agenda, are there any items you would like to be removed for separate discussion?
Not for me.
Anyone in the audience or in the Zoom room, anything to be removed for separate discussion? All right. Move on to deliberation or a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of today's action agenda items 8.1 through 8.10 as presented.
I will second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Comment, thank you for our staff and for everybody for recognizing Richard Falk at the Sand Hill Park. I just met up with his old kind of boss out there who just found out about it as well. He was the groundskeeper, or the what do you call him, the guy who basically watched over the place for the last 6-7 years. Got to know him well and was really saddened by that. And again, thank you for all the work that we're going to be doing when it comes to the guidelines for the budgets. That is always a spectacular time. It used to be very exciting with a lot of fireworks, and it's nice and dull, and that is very much appreciated. Thank you, Jennifer.
Just a couple of quick comments. Yeah, the more boring the budget process, the better, I think. We've certainly benefited from that. And so just also appreciate the memorial tree for Richard. Just by all accounts, a hard worker, a good guy, a good teammate for our Parks Department. And so he'll be very missed up in the Sand Hill, North Mason area. I know that these things are difficult, and this is hopefully a good way to memorialize all of the service that he provided to the North Mason community. Also just want to recognize sending out our award letters for our homeless response grant program. Special thanks to Melissa, Todd, and Haley for all the work that goes in on the front end of that to prepare RFPs and to review those, and certainly these are pretty significant amounts of money that are going out to these organizations, but they all do their best to kind of have a shoestring budget and provide as much services as they can for the money that they do receive. And we're limited in what we're able to give, and so the Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board tried to make recommendations that were fair and equitable to the organizations, and recognizing what the priorities were from not just our local homelessness response plan, but also in coordination with the State Department of Commerce's homelessness prevention goals as well. So look forward to those going out and those organizations continuing their good work in our community.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'll just ditto the remarks, and I do want to thank all of our nonprofits for stepping up and providing such a valuable service for our community. All right, call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And let's move on to item number 9. Do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission?
Just one quick thing.
State your name, please.
I'm Steve Dunkel, I'm your auditor. Good morning. Hey, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Next week, we're going to have a visit by Secretary of State Steve Hobbs. He will be in town for, I guess, a luncheon with community leaders. But before that, he's going to stop by and visit my team. And we'll take time to show him around the ballot processing room and some of the changes that we made using information security grant money. So just, we'll have probably a bigger group than just the secretary. So I want to give you a heads up on that. Thank you very much.
What day is that?
That will be the
28.
28th.
28th. All right. Thank you, auditor.
You're welcome.
All right. It is. Oh, we can. It's 9:18, so we can move into our public hearings. Let's move into the first one, 10.1, and ask staff to come forward to present. Ian?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This item is to basically correct our Title 15 code to allow us to charge mandatory PSEA fees when we issue an infraction. Currently, under our current code, we can't collect the PSEA fees, which then results in the county eating the cost of the PSEA fees, because they get paid one way or the other, whether the county's paying the PSEA fees or it's being collected from the person we issue the infraction to. So we just have some very minor code changes to allow us to collect that PSEA fee, and at the same time we fixed the definition of director to more clearly show the new structure within the county for who has responsibility for the code, with the changes to adding, community development, public health, and public works directors.
Thank you. Any questions for staff?
Not for me.
All right. Do we have anyone in the audience that has questions for staff? Making it easy on you, Ian. All right. Thank you. We'll call for commissioner deliberation or a motion.
What public
Public
testimony?
comment.
Oh, yeah. Is there public testimony? Thanks. Brain's not completely here. Is there anyone here that would like to provide public testimony? All right. Now, we'll move on to commissioner deliberation or a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the amendments to Title 15 as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the amendments to Title 15 as presented. Any further discussion?
Good cleanup work.
Yeah, we appreciate you. All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, thanks, Ian. Let's move on to item number 2. This is a public hearing to consider approving the resolution approving the supplemental budget requests and budget transfers to the 2023 budget. Ask Jennifer to come forward, please.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So this is a public hearing to consider approving the supplemental budget requests and budget transfers to the 2023 budget. I do have a small recommendation on the from what's on the agenda to change the wording, removing the resolution approving, because we already approved the resolution for it. So So the,
Different verbiage than I do because I
Oh,
should
okay.
have that. I have the requested action is to set the public hearing. I had that for my last one as well.
Oh,
Okay, I have the resolution, so I'll make do with that when the time comes. So, go
okay,
ahead.
perfect, thank you.
We'll just go over make sure the numbers are correct that I say.
Okay. So the net total of adjustments to the 2023 authorized expenditure appropriations in the general fund is a recommended increase of $840,392. And the net total of adjustments to 2023 authorized expenditure appropriations in funds other than the general fund is a decrease of $2,266,452. And the detail is as follows. And this is an accumulation of all funds. The detail is included in the detailed budget entries. I'm not going to read off all of those, but in all the funds, changing the budgeted beginning fund balances to actual cash balance amounts at 1/1/23 resulted in a revenue change of $819,619, an increase, and a decrease in expenditures of $2,452,058, and that is to keep ending fund balances from not being less than zero. So if there's any questions on that, let me know at the end. In WSU, the department, there's an expenditure increase of $2,700 for repairs to noxious weed motor pool, for their motor pool vehicle. In the auditor's office, an increase to revenue of $79,950 and an increase to expenditures of $82,350. That's for an election grant and Tyler Munis Conference travel costs. In emergency management, an increase in expenditures of $180,647, and that is a combination of an increase to pay for DEM's rent to Public Works for 2022, which was paid in 23. There's also grant revenue that was budgeted in 23 that did not have offsetting expenditures in the budget. In human resources, $51,000 increase to expenditures, and that's to move extra help that was budgeted in 2022 that was unused into 23 of $10,000, Cabot Dow increase of $20,000, and new employee tools and training of $21,000. In the clerk's office, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $100,000 for Blake Decision expenditure reimbursable by AOC. In district court, an increase to revenue of $3,000 for interpreter reimbursement. Expenditures are already in the budget. Parks and Trails, an increase to revenue of $9,235 and an increase to expenditures of $24,735 for parks expenditure increases to water, professional services, Sanican rentals, uniforms, and motor pool maintenance. In the prosecutor's office, an increase to expenditures of $19,227 for an increase in salaries by the Washington Citizens Commission. In the sheriff's office, an increase to revenue of $24,617 and an increase to expenditures of $93,227. And that's for WASPEC training, revenue and expenditure increases, and then CTG maintenance contract. In Superior Court, an increase of $87,826 to revenue and an increase of $254,929 in expenditures, and that's an increase to the judges' salaries by the Washington Citizens Commission, adding one FTE for financial analyst, reclass of the admin secretary, interpreter increase costs, JAVS grant, increase to the court commissioner from 37.5 hours a week to 40 hours per week. And then in therapeutic courts, $4,077 increase to expenditures. That's their portion, the therapeutic courts portion of the increase to the court commissioner hours. In non-departmental, an increase to revenue of $20,000, an increase to expenditures of $27,500. This is for the City of Shelton ARPA contribution of $20,000 in revenue, and then Hood Canal Coordinating Council dues of $7,500. In Russellwood Sewer and Water, we have an increase to revenue of $127,650 and an increase to expenditures of $98,686. And the revenue is for the Puget Sound Nutrient Grant for sewer and the Commerce Grant for water system improvements, and then the offsetting expenditures for that. In information technology, we have $86,920 increase to expenditures, and that's for Microsoft Office 365, which was budgeted in 2022 but paid in 23. And so that's all of the entries for the general fund. Again, the increase to expenditures $840,392, and in other funds, a decrease in expenditures of $2,266,452. Any questions?
Just wanted to verify, heard right, that you said the total net adjustment increase, $840,392 is what I have. Is that what you said though?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Thought I heard you differently.
All right. Any questions for staff? What about in the Zoom room?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any public testimony? All right. How about commissioner deliberation? I almost said customer.
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the budget supplemental appropriations and amendment as listed in attachments A and B for a total net adjustment increase to the general fund of $840,392 and a net adjustment decrease for expenditure appropriations in the funds other than the general fund to decrease of $2,266,452.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, and my brain's not working completely, so as Randy stated, as Commissioner Netherland stated. Any discussion?
Just a word of thanks to Jennifer and our budget office for putting this all together. We're like a grown-up organization now. We only do this twice a year. Wasn't too long ago that we were doing these quarterly. Probably even felt like a little bit more frequently than quarterly.
And fighting over every single dollar.
Every line item. So imagine reading every line item 4+ times a year. So just thank you and appreciate all the work.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, let's move on to item number 10.3 and ask Kel to come forward.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kel Rowan with Community Development. So this is a public hearing for updates to the Mason County Code Title 14, including adoption of the 2021 State of Washington Building Codes as required under provisions of RCW 1927 and WAC 51. So this is an update to the 2021 International Residential Code and International Building Code, and also the adoption of WUI, the Wildlands Urban Interface. And so I have both Todd Cunningham, our building official, and Randy Collins, our fire marshal, here with me today, so if you guys have any detailed questions. The state of Washington originally had an adoption date of July 1st of this year, which is why we're here today. We're prepared, but they have set that back to, I believe it's October 29th.
October 29th.
Because it's like 120 days, so November 1st, October 29th. And so we're just pre-adopting, and we will make the ordinance effective the October 29th of this year, so people have plenty of time to get building permits in prior to the update of the new code. And if you have questions, I've got Randy and Todd.
Yeah, what was that called again?
WUI.
Very technical.
It's the, yes.
Wildland Urban Interface Code.
Do they have, so I remember from my time on the State Building Code Council that they would also, when they made updates like this, they would do a financial impact, sort of financial impact statement or fiscal note. Do we have any sense for what these changes might mean to the average, person who's gonna go build a home or do a project?
Yeah, for the Wildland Urban Interface, the WUI, it's the WBIA, Washington Building Industry Association, has estimated that the cost of a single-family dwelling will be about $4,300 additional. So there is an impact. Unfortunately, it's a mandated code and certain things come with that. Randy and I have created some checklists and some other things. We're going to try to make it as easy as possible, but the cost analysis is there and it's real. My estimate was around 5,000, and so it coincides with that as well.
So that's perhaps a message to the community that if you have a project and you're on the fence, maybe get off the fence before October 28th.
Yes, it is, and we've done some outreach. We're working with the Olympia Master Builders. I've spoken with Jesse over there a couple times, and he gets the word out very well. Also, the manufactured homes folks, their organization is very large cumulatively, and branches over into other states because of the fact that it's regulated by L&I, and a lot of stuff gets manufactured in other states. One of the problems that we found with the Wildland Interface and manufactured homes was that there's a lot of inventory already on lots that doesn't comply with what's coming. And the interpretation was that it would have to. So I think that's another one of the reasons that we've stalled this, because that could be upwards of $20,000 per unit to tear those apart and put them back into fire protection. So there's some information out there already. It's gotten to our customers. We have handouts and informational postings on our website, as well as counter handouts. And so the word's getting out. With that, in addition to other code provisions that might be changing as far as the Washington Energy Code, which always brings some level of change with energy use. There are a couple of lawsuits toward the State Building Code Council, and that's why this stall has taken place. So I don't know the basis of those or the specifics at this time, but we follow that. We put an announcement on the website. So we're getting the word out as much as we can, Commissioner Schutte, and we will continue to do that and work with those stakeholders that we talk to, and other counties we're speaking with and seeing what they're doing, other jurisdictions, and making sure we're consistent with each other. Including Thurston County and Kitsap for those two to start with, but there's others we're working with as well.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, these are mandated, and that cost is not being put forward on the people here by Mason County as it is by the state of Washington. Just wanted to make that clear.
Yes. WUI was previously optional, and then it became mandated, and now it is absolutely no choice.
One day I'd love to see a breakdown of what all the extra costs are that are put on in the state compared to states that don't have the same restrictions. I really would love to see that, just to know what that actually looks like.
Probably the National Home Builders Association has that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the WBIA may have something as well, because they track this pretty closely. There's already been lawsuits in other states and so on, so I think ours is subsequent to that and those lawsuits. Ninth Circuit Court in Berkeley just ruled on this, and so it's coming this way as well. And it's the HVAC industry for the energy code stuff, and then beyond. So I'll continue to study it though as we go forward.
Our state better be careful. We're going to have a homeless issue.
You think? Yeah, not helping much, is it? I know that during session there was numerous testimony by builders and by BIAW and the cities, the counties, on the impact that this is going to have on our homelessness issue already, the housing crisis already. So it's unfortunate, but nothing we can do about it right at this point in time. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any testimony from anyone in the room or in the Zoom room? All right. Let's move on to commissioner deliberation or motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the ordinance amending Title 14, including adopting the 2021 State of Washington Building Codes as required under the provisions of RCW 19.27 and WAC 51, effective October 29th, 2023.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance amending Title 14, including adopting the 2021 State of Washington Building Code as required under the provisions of RCW 19.27 and WAC 51, effective October 29th, 2023. Further discussion?
Wooey.
Call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for staying on top of things. I appreciate it, and I'm sure our builders do as well. So thank you so much, Cal and staff, for everything that you do to help our builders.
Thank you, welcome.
All right. Let's move on to item number 11, board calendars and reports. Commissioner Netherland, if you'll go first, Commissioner Schutte, and then I'll follow.
I'd met with Cheryl Haywood regarding some of the issues that we were dealing with this last few weeks ago. Very much appreciate her time and her getting a chance to see face-to-face on an important issue. Local government was representative at our North Mesa School District to speak with a bunch of kids. Chief Knight had a celebration of life, 55 years is what it turned out as an actual chief. That's not 55 years working for that's 55 years as the chief. What a concept. And people may not know this, but we were the very first rural paramedic in the state of Washington. They didn't even have that program for anything like outside of Seattle and stuff. And now you see what Bo's doing, and you see we're carrying on the same. Mason County rocks, it just does. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, I also met with Bo Bakken and others in regards to the program that they're doing, and I'm very, very impressed and happy with it. And they're coming closer and closer to being able to offer it for everybody in Mason County. What a great thing this is. It gives a whole other layer of healthcare where the doctor gets to come to them and be able to handle certain things. A lot of these people, we don't think about it, they come out of a hospital not having a clue what to do. Their families don't know how to handle all the medications, everything else. And this person will show up and even help them with that. Not to mention help them with, might be an earache or anything that'll keep them from having to go to the emergency room where they could spend, it costs $4,000 or $5,000. It gets done for a couple $100, literally here locally, and it's pretty impressive. But the follow through and everything, imagine having that for, it reminds me of Doc Baker for Little House on the Prairie for us old people. Doctor traveling around and doing these things. Then we had our briefings. I met with our local representative for the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. We had a meeting down at Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority. The building is now paid off, so we had a celebration also for that. I already mentioned the meeting with Bo Bakken and them over that healthcare issue. I met with our executive to talk about the career incentive programs. We had a meeting of our legislative people here with our two representatives and a senator from Kitsap County to discuss the Belfair bypass and the Gorst interchange. It was a very fruitful meeting, and I want to take a moment and thank Griffey and Representative Couture for thinking outside the box. They were dealing with a situation and some things that could seriously slow down the project, and thinking outside the box, they started asking what can be done, and they're gonna put together a legislative letter that simplifies it and brings it down to no roundabouts or anything there. Because right now it's in the law, they have to. Now, there are those that may be upset about that, but again, the other option is we're a couple of years out before they'll even be able to start anything. So I don't think they're gonna be asking us for support. It looks like they can do it on their own, but if they do need to ask us for support, be prepared to have that conversation. I went and visited the North Mason Fire Building to look at different possibilities. We went there with our building department to see what type of issues may come up that we had to deal with. Coming up, we have a Mason Transit Authority meeting, North Mason Chamber of Commerce meeting, Mason County Housing Authority meeting. I have a meeting up at Beers Cove with our HOA and our county regarding the water system. Melissa Hudson's Celebration of Life. I have another meeting with the risk pool in regards to finance and new ways and looking at new ways to do our billings. There's a candidate forum coming up. Lakeland Village is also having an HOA with a joint meeting here with the county staff to talk about infrastructure there, such as the sewer. I have a meeting with the Rotary. I don't think, this one keeps popping up on my calendar, but I think it's Commissioner Shooty, Mason County Courthouse briefing. We're both
No.
on there, so.
We're all on that.
It's all on.
It's Wasac coming.
That one, okay. Because there is one for the courthouse, and it's usually, okay, so I will show up for that one. And then candidate for governor is coming to Mason County on the 29th, then a left board meeting, and that brings us back, and we'll start all over again.
Let's see. Later on today, I have the YMCA Advisory Board meeting. Also have Mason Transit. I have a meeting coming up with Shelton City Council member Miguel Gutierrez, as well as the Canal Coordinating Council. Have a Broadband Action Team meeting. And then I'll be out at the Ridge for the Moto America event. Have a meeting with the... No, I don't. I lied.
Just kidding.
Yeah, back for briefings, and then participating in the Transforming Our Communities 2-day event with the University of Washington's Drug and Alcohol Addiction Institute, as well as I'll be participating in the meeting with Secretary Hobbs. And also have the Wasac Courthouse briefing, Hood Canal Bridge Management Committee update. Have a meeting with some constituents from the Matlock area, Mason County Behavioral Health Coalition, and then we have our briefings canceled for the 3rd, and the 4th, and then have our commission meeting on the 5th. A rare Wednesday commission meeting. Mark your calendars.
It's exciting. All right,
Well, you
thank
will be
you.
the only ones here.
I know, right? We will be. Well, last week it was kind of cool. I was able to participate in a grand opening, or it was more of an expansion. So the Public Works Board, we were able to help Lot, which is down in Olympia. They do the water treatment for Lacey, Tumwater, and Olympia.
Quite a place, huh?
Oh my gosh, it is so cool. I would recommend going on another tour because they've expanded, and the water that comes out of there is so pure. It's pretty cool. And I don't know. I like infrastructure. I like stuff like that. So it's kind of a it's kind of a nerdy thing to do, but it's fun. Last weekend was the downtown Get Down along with the fjord, and had a 50-50 raffle. Wild Irish helped us sponsor that one for Turning Point, so that was a lot of fun. It was neat seeing everybody downtown. So later today, for the next couple of days, I'll be at Alderbrook for a Community Action Council board retreat for lots of strategic planning and trainings. Later on this afternoon is the Mason Transit meeting. Tomorrow night is a candidate kickoff, but also a Republican women's meeting, so I'll be going to both. Turning Point, and I would ask people to take a look at Turning Point's website. We're doing a kitchen remodel, and so we're asking for folks to bring meals in for our clients, because obviously they can't cook in the kitchen that's being remodeled. So take a look at that. I'm helping prepare food for that one. Pack Mountain Board meeting, Timber County's Beneficiary Coalition update. Let's see, the Sheriff's Breakfast is on Friday. Public Works Traditional Committee meeting Friday also. Briefing on Monday. Wasac Virtual Assembly. A possible meeting with Community Lifeline. I haven't guaranteed or not a confirmation on that one. Monday night at the Civic Center is the Mason County meeting. They are going to have candidate forums, so that's on the 26th at 6 o'clock I think it's 6 o'clock at the Civic Center, so I encourage people to come to that. And then on Tuesday I'll be participating in a solid waste affiliate meeting. I'm on a panel with a bunch of other commissioner and council members, so it's kind of fun talking about solid waste. We had a Board of Health meeting, and then I have a SWAC meeting. I'm also going to have lunch with Patty Case. Haven't seen her in a long time. Turning Point Board meeting, Wasac, the County Courthouse meeting, Public Works Board Executive Committee meeting, Pack Mountain Elected Officials meeting, and then we have a Turning Point Donor Appreciation out at the Ridge, and so that is Thursday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wish my niece a happy birthday on Friday the 30th. Public Works Traditional Committee, and then that's also Marcy Harris's retirement. So encourage everyone to come down and say hello to her. Then we're back for briefings on Monday, and then we have our board meeting on the 5th. And then also Public Works Board meetings. Okay?
Did you say Board of Health meeting?
That's what I have on my calendar, but maybe not.
Okay, I don't
Is
either.
it not?
It should be in July.
Oh, good. Then ignore that one. I can take that off my calendar.
I forgot on the 29th, I will also be speaking at the Kitsap Alliance of Property Owners as their guest speaker. The dinner, what all does that entail? How would we serve it? For example, let's just say, a little company was to bring in like clam chowder and tomato soup and maybe pasta, meatballs, and shrimp or something.
A little company, huh?
How would it do that?
Get a
It's
hold
no
of,
kitchen.
so we're just making food and then we take it there and then they serve it. So the staff serves. We have an area
So
set
there's
up.
an area where they have power and stuff like that to have the human stuff, and you guys
Yeah.
just, okay?
Yeah. But get a hold of Turning Point if you want to do that. That would be.
Yeah, if
that
somebody
would be-
wants to do it,
That would be
get a
so
hold of
cool. Yeah, if you know somebody with like a food truck or something like that. I don't know. If they want to do that, that'd be great. All right. That brings us to item 12. Do we have any other comments or?
Move we adjourn.
Second?
All right. We're adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Nice job, you guys.